Back to another episode of the Casey Campbell Podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. We are pleased to be joined by one of the finalists for the Kulwicki Driver Development Program going for the 2023 Kulwicki Cup. Of course, that is Jacob Borst. How's it going, buddy?
It's going really good. It's been a busy week, been an exciting week for sure. So, just putting in some work, just trying to get ready for this weekend.
Yeah. So earlier this week, you found out that you were going to be part of the Quickie Driver Development Program. What's it like to be a finalist and get the call? And what were you doing?
Yeah, I was actually driving down the road, and it probably wasn't the safest thing to do, but I was just sitting there, just checking it it was like 12:59, so we're just scrolling up and down, trying to refresh the page every couple of seconds. So find out if we got in, and it finally came out. So I pressed it, and it was definitely a stress reliever. I was kind of stressed about it for about a month, really nervous about it, but I was super excited. I mean, it probably looked like I just won the Daytona 500 in my little Honda Civic driving to school, but I was just so jacked up about it. I called about everybody on the crew, told them about it, and I'm still just super excited about it. I would, it almost felt like it was like, is this real, or is this a dream, or something I've been looking really forward to reapplying this coming year or this year, and I'm just super excited. I got picked for the finals.
Okay. So since this is also your first time on the channel, so kind of tell, how you got your start in the racing.
Yeah, my dad has always been into cars and different things, and when before I was probably before I think it was before I was born, he started racing late models with one of his family friends, and they did that for a couple years. Never, they were just kind of average, never really had much success, and but they just did it for fun, just had a good group of guys, just having fun every Friday night, and they ended up kind of slowing down with it, and I think a couple years later, I was probably one or two. I was pretty young. They ended up buying a modified racing at A Speedway, and I don't really remember it as a kid, but I know I was about at the track every weekend with Dad and the rest of them watching, and even in the shop, I think we kept the car at our shop. So about every night I was out here with all the guys and just hung out with them. Even though I don't remember, there's still a bunch of pictures of it. And I just grew up around racing. Every weekend we were at the racetrack. Just everything about us was just racing. That's what we did as a hobby. And but when I was 4.5, we started in go karts and ran that for a couple of years. So we were about 5.5, 5 to 5.5, and started in quarter midgets. Just a little bit safer. Had roll cages and seat belts, and just felt the parents felt better about it, safer, and just a good community of people. So we ended up joining NCQMA in Salisbury and got into that and raced till I was about 12. Traveled the last couple of years. We traveled anywhere from Alabama to Michigan to Maine. Just traveled all over the place racing national and regional races, and that was really one place I feel like I really gained a lot of knowledge is traveling to different tracks and adapting to different tracks. And we did that for a fair amount of years, and we ended up going to Alice Legacy Series for about half a year just to learn how to shift gears, just to learn how to really get used to a big size car with fenders, and just get used to all the fundamentals of racing a late model stock car. So we did that for about half a year, and then in 2017 we started the Southeast Limited Late Model and started racing some of the Southeast Limited Late Models, and just kind of moved up. And in 2021 we started racing late model at South Boston, and we been racing there ever since. And it was honestly a surprise that we came out so strong. If you would have asked me and before the first race at 21, would I be what I think I'll be the rookie of the year, the runner-up to Peyton Sellers, who became the national champion, I wouldn't believe it. I think there's just no way. But we've been really lucky with the success we've had over the last 3 years in late model. So it's been a long journey. It's been a fun one, especially with family. It's a family sport, so it's kept me out of trouble over the years.
Okay, so let's talk about what you're going to be doing, what you're going to be racing this year.
Yeah, we will be racing the full season at South Boston, which we started on March 18th. So we'll be running the full schedule there, along with the Hampton Heat and part of the Triple Crown and the Martinsville Speedway in September part of the Triple Crown. We'll run all of those races, and we'll also be running at Wake County this year. We're gonna try to make the full schedule there. Run for points down there also on Friday nights, and try to get 2 full seasons for points and 2 tracks, and try to do both of those while try to travel a little bit on off weekends or weekends or days we're not racing. Try to travel a little bit, go to different tracks, and try new things, and honestly, just try to race as much as we can this year.
Okay. Just what's been like the biggest thing that you've kind of learned doing this racing stuff?
Um, yeah, he learns so many things. I feel like one of the hardest is probably respect to the other drivers. Going into South Boston, you had Peyton Sellers, just one of the big names, and Mike Looney, and all these guys that have been running for so long. Probably they were racing late models before I was born, and to come in there as a younger kid compared to them, and try to earn somebody's respect is really hard. In that they're gonna push you around a little bit, and you kind of got to know when you push back, don't overdrive it. Just it's almost trying to gain respect. You just got to give a lot instead of take a lot. It's I feel like that was probably the hardest part. It's just learning how to give and give, and then once you get your experience under your belt, once you get the respect of other drivers, and you kind of take a little bit, and you be a little bit more aggressive with them, and have a little bit better relationship with them, where you be rubbing on the track and have a good race, but then shake the guy's hand and talk about it and laugh about it off the track. So to me, that's probably really been the hardest part, just gaining respect. It's something you can't really pay for, something you can't really work. You got to work hard for it, and it's something that once you lose it, it's hard to gain it back. So you just got to be real smart with it.
What does it mean to be a finalist?
Oh, it's definitely an honor. It's I knew of Alan Kulwicki, and then when I kind of got a little bit older and kind of talked to Dad and talked to other people a lot more about racing, you kind of heard more about them, and we've always been kind of a little family team. We've done everything ourselves, and you know, used to talk about him all the time. How he wasn't really he put in a lot of work. He put probably more work in than any of the drivers out there at the time, and it's something kind of we relate to. We go out there now and you're racing big teams with full time crews, and um, have full time employees during the week, and we do it when we get back from home and school and or back from work and school. So, I feel like we can kind of relate to them a little bit with that. We do everything ourselves. We put a lot of work in. We have a lot of pride in what we do, and it was and then it's just a real big honor to represent his legacy and all the board members along with it to be chosen to represent them. It's a high responsibility to represent yourself well because you're representing them too. So, it was. I'm still super excited about it. About everybody I know that I see, I'm like telling them all about it. Um, so, I'm super jacked up about it, super honored, and really looking forward to working with the development team and all the board members. I feel like they can really help me, with different things, with whether it's social media or community outreach and different things. That's something that I think everybody struggles with and can always get better at. So, I'm looking forward to learning more. I feel like this year is definitely a good learning year, a lot of stuff, and I'm just really looking forward to it.
Yeah. And then just going into that, just what are your goals for this racing season?
We had different goals. Feel like me and Dad's talked about a lot of different goals. We'd love to win the championship at South Boston. That's something I feel like is really hard to do. There's really good competition up there, a lot of good drivers, and it's you got to have luck play out, and you just got to be really lucky to win. You can't have really many bad finishes up there. So, to win the championship up there will be really good for us. We're on a Wake County. I feel like we're trying to chase 2 championships this year, get as many wins as we can. We'll hopefully we can also travel a little bit, just get a lot of experience this year and be able to travel while we can. We got a really good opportunity this year, and to just be able to travel, get as many wins as we can. Just try to keep the car clean is really the main goal every week. But to really go out there, keep the car clean, and just have a good race with everybody, and just try to get as many wins as we can.
All right. Jacob Borst, thank you so much for coming on and talking with us. Congrats on being a Kulwicki Cup finalist, and we'll definitely be talking with you throughout the year.
Thank you, Casey.